All right, it is time for perhaps my most requested video of the year so far. Ever since I did the cereal tier list, there's been a lot of demand for a Pop-Tart tier list. So that's what we're going to do today. I have grabbed what I consider the worthy Pop-Tarts for a tier list. There are dozens and dozens and probably hundreds of Pop-Tarts flavors at this point, and I haven't had them all. And even if I had, I wouldn't rank them all because that's too many. So I've grabbed the OGs and a couple of special ones that, again, I think are worthy to be in the conversation. Maybe I forgot one. I don't know. I feel if there's one that's not on this list that you think should be on the list, probably just eat better Pop-Tarts. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really know what else to tell you. These are all the ones I think are worthy of being here. So I'm just going to pull randomly from the list and we're going to talk about them. All right. So let's see. Why don't we start with raspberry? I mixed up the pictures for raspberry and strawberry, and I'll catch it later in the video, but I just wanted to go ahead and mention that now because I know some of you are going to lose your minds over that. If you can see them, I had a hard time seeing them, and I was looking at it full screen. So if you caught that and it drives you nuts, I'll catch it later and fix it. So shut up. Let's start with raspberry, and I'll just place it there to talk about it. Raspberry's a fine Pop-Tart. You know what I mean? It's fine. It's not... It would never be my first choice. I think it would probably never be anyone's first choice. If you were going to open up if someone said, I have Pop-Tarts, you were staying with someone and they're like, I have Pop-Tarts in there if you want some, and you open them, I feel like raspberry is going to be relatively low on the list of Pop-Tarts you were hoping for, but it's also fine. I'm not going to not eat it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be like, oh, raspberry, whatever, I'll have something else. I'll have it, but it's definitely not going to be my first choice. It's okay. It's a fine pop. I feel like there are several categories of Pop-Tart to go up from raspberry. So we're gonna put it in C for now. This is all subject to get adjusted as I start placing other Pop-Tarts on the list. But I think for now, C feels pretty good for raspberry. I think that's pretty good. And then because it's the only other one that you guys can't see down there, I'll go ahead and pull this one up. It's crisp apple. Crisp apple. That's a pretty good Pop-Tart. It's definitely better than raspberry. It's a solid Pop-Tart. Apple filling with the icing on it. It's kind of, you know what I mean? It's a solid candidate. Definitely would be more excited about a crisp apple than I would a raspberry. I think B tier probably feels pretty good for that. I think B tier feels right for crisp apple. It's a solid Pop-Tart. If there was like a B plus, I think it's slightly above an average Pop-Tart, which is, I think, good. I think it's a good thing. All right, what's next? Let's go... Let's go blueberry. Blueberry's a banger of a Pop-Tart. It's one of the OGs. It's one of the original Pop-Tarts. It'll never let you down. Blueberry Pop-Tart's gonna deliver. It's gonna deliver for sure. Yeah, I think it's better than... I mean, crisp apple is good. But I just feel like blueberry has earned... I think blueberry's earned that A tier. I think it's among the top. It's looking down on most of the Pop-Tarts. Blueberry is a strong option. If I said, what's your favorite Pop-Tart, and somebody said blueberry, I probably wouldn't bat an eye. You know what I mean? I'd be like, oh. In my head, I'd be like, there's some better ones for me for sure, but I can't knock that you think blueberry's the best. Whereas if somebody said raspberry was their favorite, I'd be like, interesting. Really? Have you had blueberry? What next? How about s'mores? S'mores is another very interesting Pop-Tart. We're going to set it there for a second to talk about it. S'mores is an interesting one. S'mores is an absolute banger. It is an absolute banger. S'mores is a tough one. Man, s'mores. I think of the flavors that deviate from the more standard flavors, s'mores is arguably the best. I think s'mores is arguably the best Pop-Tart that's ever deviated from the standard flavors. S'mores might have to be an S tier Pop-Tart, honestly. It's hard to get better than s'mores. Now in my head, there's a couple of them that are better than s'mores, so I'm kind of feeling like I need to shift everything in this list down a tier. I think I might need to shift everything down. Because there are some clear standouts from, I don't know though. Maybe this feels more right. Crisp apple is better though than raspberry. D is still a passing grade. No, let's leave it for now. I think I can be okay with s'mores being among the greats that are gonna go into the S tier. So maybe we're okay for now. I feel like I need another tier. I need a double S tier. Because not putting s'mores in S tier feels wrong. But I do think there's a couple of Pop-Tarts that are better than s'mores. So, but for the sake of s'mores being the best non-traditional flavor, I feel like I can deal with that making it worthy of S tier. So we're gonna roll with that, okay? Let's throw a curveball in here and go unfrosted blueberry. Now, here's the thing about an unfrosted Pop-Tart. Man, you know, it's just real tough. I feel like it's just real tough. That's kind of back to the like going into the cabinet and someone says I have Pop-Tarts. If they say I have Pop-Tarts and you open the cabinet and they've got unfrosted Pop-Tarts, it's probably time to just leave. You know what I mean? Don't tell me you've got Pop-Tarts and then have unfrosted Pop-Tarts. For sure warn me. I don't think you get to call an unfrosted Pop-Tart just a Pop-Tart. I think you have to say unfrosted Pop-Tart. You know what I'm saying? I think you have to say unfrosted Pop-Tart. Now, because this is where things get tough. Again, because I don't think they belong in F tier. I don't think they're garbage. But in no world would I ever choose an unfrosted Pop-Tart over just about any other Pop-Tart. And this is again bringing me to a point where I feel like I need to shift everything down because I do think they need to go in the F tier. If we're ranking them against other Pop-Tarts and there's gonna be an F tier, I think they have to go in the F tier. They're not equal to any other Pop-Tart. But the F tier would suggest inedible. And that doesn't feel correct either. This makes me wish I had had some of the more garbage flavor combinations they've come up with over the years so that I had some to put in F tier. I don't know that any of them are gonna go F tier on this list. So maybe that's fair. Maybe the F tier is just there for gauge. Unless we want to agree that F tier doesn't mean inedible, it just means it is the worst of the rest of the Pop-Tarts. But then we get to a situation where, again, I'm going to feel like I need to shift down. You know what I mean? Given those rankings. Blueberry is not an average Pop-Tart, though. Blueberry is an above average Pop-Tart. Maybe this feels okay. If this is the line, let's rock with this for just a minute. It's a process. Just because I drop something doesn't mean it's locked there, all right? All right, so moving on. Let's talk about cherry. It is non-negotiable under any circumstances. Cherry is an S tier Pop-Tart. And it's not really even open for discussion. This is one of the few times in my life that if you disagree with me, I'm just gonna tell you you're flat out wrong. There's no room for your opinion here. Usually I'm very open to counter arguments and stuff. Not on this one. Not on cherry Pop-Tarts. That's an S tier Pop-Tart all day, every single day. It is one of the 2 Pop-Tarts that I would be most excited to see in someone's cabinet. If they said I have Pop-Tarts, cherry is one of the ones I've got my fingers crossed for. And that's just the way it is, okay? That's just the way it is. Cherry is an S tier Pop-Tart all day long, every single day of the week, for the entire year, every single year that will ever happen for the rest of humanity. And that ever has happened. Cherry will be an S tier Pop-Tart. End of the conversation. Let's move on to the next one. All right, how about chocolate chip? Chocolate chip. I mean, where's the bad part of a chocolate chip Pop-Tart? You know what I'm saying? And it's nearly unfrosted, but it gets away with it because it's full of chocolate. And then it's got a little bit of chocolate drizzled on it. I mean, it's an A tier. At the very least, it's an A tier. I would hear an argument for S tier. But I think, given the structure of this tier list, we have to make sure we are appreciating the value of the A tier. The A tier is a very prestigious, I think I like prestigious better, spot on this tier list, all right? F, because again, F is not garbage. F is not inedible garbage. It is just relative to the rest of what's on the tier list. So like even D, like I said, D is not bad here. So if D's not bad, A is a solid spot to be in, all right? S tier is like a God tier Pop-Tart. So A is slightly under a God tier Pop-Tart. I think I feel pretty good about chocolate chip being in the A tier. I think that feels right. Cookies and cream. Cookies and cream. Here's the thing. I am a big fan of cookies and cream stuff. I really like cookies and cream. It's a safe option. Ice cream, candy bars. It's a safe. It's really not ever gonna let you down. You know what I mean? If you're unsure about what you want and there's all these flavors, if you're at an ice cream place and there's all these flavors and you're like, I don't know, man. Cookies and cream, Old Faithful. It's gonna deliver. I just feel like with the Pop-Tarts, I don't know, something's off. Something's a little bit off. Don't get me wrong, it's a great Pop-Tart. It's a great Pop-Tart, but something about the cookies and cream Pop-Tart, I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like B tier is fine. And maybe you were expecting lower because of the way I'm talking about it, but again, cookies and cream is like, it's a winner. It's a winner every time. So even with there being something a little bit off, it's still a solid option. I just don't think it belongs up here. Whereas ordinarily, maybe you would expect cookies and cream to belong up there. I don't think so with the Pop-Tart. Something's not there with it. I don't know. I don't know, man. Let's talk about strawberry. I feel like this is going to be the toughest one for me to rank. This is going to be a very difficult one for me to rank and feel good about the rank, because strawberry is another one that's just solid. What I need here is a tier above A, but below S. Because I think strawberry is better than blueberry. It's definitely better than chocolate chip. I just don't know if it's quite on par with cherry and the rest of what's going on in the S tier. So what I guess I have to do is figure out if I think it's closer to being on par with what's going on in the S tier or the A tier. Strawberry's probably a top. It's easy. I think it's an easy top 5. It might be a top 4. And I guess there's even an argument to be had that it could be a top 3. I don't think it would be unthinkable for someone to go strawberry over s'mores. Strawberry might have to be an S tier Pop-Tart. Again, I just kind of feel like now I need a double S tier. I just don't. I think it fits perfectly in between what I have going on in the S and A tier right now. But if I have to go either way with it, I think I feel better about going up than down with it. So we're gonna put it in the S tier, but I want an asterisk by it. That in my head, in my heart, it's between S and A, okay? Closer to S, but above A. All right, I think I feel okay about that. Wild berry. Wild berry is... There's a lot of nostalgia for me with wild berry. I remember when I was a kid and wild berry. I remember seeing wild berry Pop-Tarts for the first time, and I feel like it was one of the first times that they... Like, it was one of the first wacky Pop-Tarts I ever saw. The colors, they... To like appeal to kids, they nailed the color scheme, dude. That purple icing with the light blue drizzle is crazy. It looks aesthetically incredible. They just really popped off. It is not as good as you think it should be. It's not a bad Pop-Tart. It's a disappointing Pop-Tart, though. When you're a kid and you're looking at that Pop-Tart, you're like, holy fuck, what's going on there? It's like it's from space or something. And then you have it and it's like, I expected more. I think I expected more from it. Again, by no stretch is it a bad Pop-Tart. But it's a C or D on this list. And I'm trying to decide if I think it's better than raspberry. Have I mixed up raspberry and strawberry there? I have. I wish we had better pictures of the Pop-Tarts. Anyway, that's sorted now. Do I think it's better than raspberry? No. That's the thing. I don't think it's better than raspberry. Put it about on par with a raspberry Pop-Tart. Yeah, I think so. Which is crazy. I feel like that's gonna ruffle some feathers. But I think it's just facts, man. I think it just is what it is. I don't know. Red Velvet Cupcake. I mean, bro. It's a solid... I think it's... I think it's a cookies and cream. Like, parallel. I think when I was younger, maybe, it would have ranked higher. Because when I was younger, dude, Red Velvet, I could just murder a whole Red Velvet cake. As I've gotten older, Red Velvet's not doing it for me as much. It's fine, but I can't eat that much of it before I'm sick of it. But still, solid Pop-Tart. I think on par with cookies and cream. Now, not in everyday life. I'm not saying cookies and cream and red velvet are on the same level, although there's a conversation to be had there. I'm talking specifically about the way they are translated into Pop-Tart flavors. I think they about hit the same thing. You know what I mean? I feel like that's pretty accurate. Let's just go ahead and get the next S tier out of the way. It's brown sugar cinnamon. And if I was gonna continue to make more tiers for this, brown sugar cinnamon sits above all other Pop-Tarts. It's brown sugar cinnamon, and then it's cherry, and then it's every other Pop-Tart. You know what I'm saying? Again, I don't really feel like I'm interested in a debate on that one. It's not. It's not really even open. I'm not inviting you to a discussion about that. Brown sugar cinnamon is the best fucking Pop-Tart of all time. Hands down, it's not even close. It is the best Pop-Tart that exists. And that will probably ever exist. They are probably never going to be able to recreate that. It's M&M's My Name Is. They're never going to figure out a way to top it. There might be stuff you like better. But as far as the most impactful, as far as the most game-changing Pop-Tart, nothing even touches brown sugar cinnamon. It is the absolute best Pop-Tart. It makes me want to readjust this entire tier list because it belongs above. I wonder why it makes me rename that one. We're doing it live. And let's make it that color. And that's probably how that needs to go. That's probably more reasonable right there, okay? It's the best Pop-Tart. Full stop. Cinnamon roll. I love a cinnamon roll. A lot. The cinnamon roll Pop-Tarts are good. But how good is the question. Again, I would for sure rather have a cinnamon roll than a cinnamon roll Pop-Tart. Which I guess is true for most of the flavors. I mean, not necessarily. I'd rather have a blueberry Pop-Tart than a blueberry. You know what I'm saying? I kind of think it falls, again, right in line with these, which, again, are still above average Pop-Tarts. They're still great. I'd still be pumped to open the cabinet and that be the Pop-Tarts that the people I was staying with had. You know what I mean? Like, all right, dope. Cinnamon roll. Yeah, I haven't had these in a while. It's not going to let me down. Fine. Red velvet, cookies and cream belongs in those categories. And again, not as good as the chocolate chip because, I mean, look, it's a simple but effective recipe. Chocolate chip. You know what I'm saying? Let's do another unfrosted. Let's go unfrosted strawberry. Unfrosted strawberry. Now, this is tough. Because a strawberry Pop-Tart's an absolute banger. So we've got a lot to think about here. Strawberry Pop-Tart's a banger. But I think a lot of what makes a strawberry Pop-Tart a banger is the icing and the multicolored sparkles. You know what I'm saying? That adds to what makes a strawberry Pop-Tart great. You take that away. It's got some flavor. It's fine. But man, what a dreary morning. It's definitely raining outside in the morning. if your toaster pops out an unfrosted strawberry Pop-Tart. It's a dreary start to the day. But I do think it's a little bit better than an unfrosted blueberry Pop-Tart. I don't think they belong on the same tier. I think of the unfrosted Pop-Tarts, strawberry's probably the best. So this might be a little bit of a curveball. I think I'm trying to decide if presented with the option of a raspberry Pop-Tart and an unfrosted strawberry Pop-Tart, which one am I taking? I think I might take the unfrosted strawberry. Because again, man, strawberry is a mover. It's a big deal. Strawberry is a big deal. But 2 tiers above unfrosted blueberry, I don't think I can swing. So it might have to be a D tier because again, it's just a real bummer of a Pop-Tart. Unfrosted Pop-Tart is just a real bummer of a Pop-Tart, man. I think I can't put it above D. Not in good conscience. I can't do that. Let's go ahead and knock out our last unfrosted Pop-Tart, which is unfrosted brown sugar cinnamon, which I feel very similarly to strawberry. I feel like they're very much in the same conversation here because if you take away that brown coat of icing, that brown sugary coat of icing that's on the brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tart, it's a completely different Pop-Tart. That the coating on the brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tart is a huge part of why it is what it is. You take that away, just a biscuit with some shit in it, you know what I mean? Like it's no longer special. Don't get me wrong. Internally, a lot of it's still there, but brown sugar cinnamon needs the icing to be what it is. Very much the same with strawberry. Strawberry might be the best. I think strawberry is the best unfrosted. We're gonna go F tier. We're gonna put it down there with the blueberry. Again, you need the whole thing for this to be what it is, which is such an interesting... That's a very interesting outcome. And you may think that takes away from what's going on up here, but it doesn't. It's the whole Pop-Tart. The fact that it needs the icing, I don't think it hurts its overall case because the icing is part of the Pop-Tart. You know what I'm saying? Strawberry is the best unfrosted Pop-Tart. But if we're putting every ingredient in and we're getting normal Pop-Tarts, you're not gonna top brown sugar cinnamon, and you're just not. And then our last one, frosted chocolate fudge is what I believe this one's called. It is a monster in the Pop-Tart game. It really is. Not even one of my favorites necessarily, but I have to respect what it is. I feel like this is probably a lot of people's favorite Pop-Tart. It's a banger of a Pop-Tart, man. It's an OG as well. And just a real banger of a Pop-Tart. Now, I'm inclined to go A tier, because in no world is it on par with a cherry Pop-Tart. Well, no. In my world, it's not on par with a cherry Pop-Tart. But I would hear the argument that as far as like where it stands overall could be equal to where the cherry Pop-Tart stands. I think I can live with chocolate fudge being an S tier. It's a as I said, it's an OG. It's an OG of the Pop-Tart game. You know what I mean? I can't be too mad at that being S tier. And I think we're good. I think this is it. I'm not seeing anything on this that makes me feel like we need to make any adjustments. I am surprised that there's only one Pop-Tart in the C tier. But I think we nailed it. I think this is it. So, let the discussion begin in the comments. This is going to be interesting. I'm very interested in all of your opinions from S tier down. I don't really need any feedback on triple S, because I've already stated. It's just objectively correct. Oh, that's it. All right. I guess we'll get out of here for this one. Wow, this video is longer than I thought it was.